U.S. Senate this morning. Murray Sabrin.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here at school because education has been my life. But let me tell you a little bit about my life and how I got here. I've been living the American dream for 59 years. Ever since I was 2 years old and came to America with my parents, who were the only ones in their families to survive the Holocaust. So don't feel sorry for me. I never knew my grandparents, never knew any aunts or uncles. That's why I'm not here because of that. I'm here because I took an oath of office, took an oath to become a United States citizen in 1959 at the age of 12. I kept my bargain with the American people to defend the Constitution of the United States. And so I'm here because I became a Republican in 1969. I saw what was happening in the 1960s under President Lyndon Baines Johnson. Policies that were going to ruin America. And we are at that crossroads today because America is at the brink. And I need your support to go to Washington to change the course that we're on because we are facing the financial rocks that are ahead of us if we don't change policy. And let me explain that. My parents gave me two bits of advice when I was a youngster. Get an education and stay out of trouble. I've amended that since then. Care about this country because this country is too precious to let it go down. And I am running for the United States Senate because what I see after 32 years of experience as an activist, as one who's been promoting Republican values across this country, in speeches across this country, in radio and television interviews across this country, in op-eds across this country. I have been promoting the values of the Republican Party for 40 years. I have a proven track record in supporting the ideals and supporting candidates who support those ideals. My good friend Jay Weber is here. Steve Lonigan, I am a member of the board of advisors of his organization. When he started his organization, he came to me for advice on how to craft the message of lower taxes, less spending, and having a sound economy. So my friends, we need to work together because we are at that crossroads. And we need to do three major things for this country. And it's the Sabrin solution. Secure our borders after 9/11. Who knows what's coming in since 9/11? We have 8,000 miles of borders, and yet our troops, unfortunately, are on borders of places overseas that we don't even know we can find on the map. We need to bring troops home strategically so they protect our borders. It's the most important thing that we need to do. And I believe George Bush in 2000 when he said we need to have no nation building. The Iraqis have had their own elections. They have their own troops in place. We need to strategically bring our troops home so we can do the things necessary for American defense. Education. I've devoted my life to education. There is nothing more important than education. One of my former students is right here. Michael, where's Michael here? There it is, one of my former students, Michael Kleck, former mayor of Cranford. I've devoted my life to educating students for the very simple reason. We need productive, skillful individuals in our economy so we can grow this economy, bring those jobs back to America instead of outsourcing them. That's what our policy has been doing with high taxes. But as the United States Senator, one of the first acts I will propose is tax credits for parents so they can choose what schools they can send their kids to. We have tax credits for higher education. It's now time to have tax credit for public education, for K through 12. You should not have to pay twice for education. If you want to bring your kids to a private school or a parochial school, you should have the right to use your tax dollars, your federal tax dollars, so you can have a school that reflects your values, that reflects your interests, that reflects your values for your kids. In addition, our economy is in shambles, an absolute shambles. I've been writing about it since 1976. You can go to murraysabrin.com and you can see my piece in the New York Times warning about the mess that we're facing right now. I've been warning about this for 32 years. Other people have had great careers and whatever they've been doing, but I have led the charge on what's wrong with America. Overspending, overborrowing, depreciating the currency. Our dollar is sick. If you saw the Wall Street Journal yesterday, the chart of the dollar, it's a third world country that we're now having because of the dollar. The dollar is falling rapidly. Every nation that's had a falling currency has had a weak economy, which means what? Less jobs and opportunity for our people. I am a proven leader on these issues for more than 3 decades, throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s of this decade. I've been sounding the alarm. And yet the leaders in Washington have not been listening. Why? They're part of the problem. Ted Kennedy's part of the problem. Hillary Clinton's part of the problem. Obama's part of the problem. Nancy Pelosi's part of the problem. Who will stand up to them in Washington, D.C.? I will, because I've been standing up for the principles of the Republican Party for 32 years. Make that 40 years. Since 1969, I said the Democrats don't have the answer. They are part of the problem. Taxes and spending. So my friends, if you want a proven leader who's been across this country sounding the alarm, telling us what's wrong, what needs to be done, free markets, free enterprise. It's amazing. The free enterprise system has given us the greatest amount of wealth in the shortest period of time. And what does the government do? It punishes you for being successful with our tax code. The more you make, the more they take. That's wrong. I will fix that. We need to get rid of the tax code that we have today, rip it up, tear it apart, and start with something new. Do you know when the income tax was founded in 1913? The people who said, we need an income tax, only 2% of the population paid the income tax. And the proponent said, no one will have to pay more than that. 7% was the highest rate. Now it's 40%. Let's go back to what the proponent said in 1913. 2% of the population paying the income tax and 7% being the highest rate. We would have incredible prosperity in the United States. Jobs would be flowing not only to the United States, but to New Jersey. New Jersey is a basket case. The federal government is 1,000 times worse. You know why? We have a $3 trillion budget next year, $400 billion of debt, $9 trillion of national debt, and here's the scary part. That's why I'm in this race. How many of you have kids and grandkids? Don't be shy. I am in this race because of your kids. Because they are facing $72 trillion of unfunded liabilities that the federal government has promised my generation and generations to follow. And there's no money for that. Right now, the people of New Jersey are paying 3 months out of the year for their federal taxes. Your kids, if nothing changes, will pay 6 months out of their income to pay all the liabilities of the federal government. Now, if you love your kids, you want an advocate for them in Washington, D.C. You want somebody who knows the federal budget. Because I've read the federal budget, but I wrote a book on how to reduce taxes and reduce spending. I read the state budget of New Jersey. I know where the waste and inefficiencies are. If you want the best advocate that you can have for the people of New Jersey, if you want to have the best advocate for the people of the United States, there's only one person who has the skills, the ability, the knowledge to do the job in Washington, D.C. Thank you. I hope to have you support. I'm Sabrin, and I approve this message.